fishtails on my finger, but I lost them in a sea of shag carpet. I still look in nooks and crannies, trying to find a piece of you, but I always just find something blue. The color that you painted me, the color that you made me sing, the color that you left inside of my heart. I let out all the air, all the balloons are gone. I don't know who this girl is, but I don't mind having her around. She can dye it blue, but that won't distract from who you are. She can cut it off too, but she'll always find one more reason to be blue. The color that you painted me, the color that you made me sing, the color that you left inside of my heart, like the sea. Always angry with the moon, always playing tug of war. Don't let the seesaw get in your eyes.
Welcome to episode 2 of Two Scoops. Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys
having
coming.
us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell me your name.
I'm Flo Petite.
I'm Phil.
Phil, and you guys are from Flo
Yeah,
Petite.
from
Is that
Flo
the band
Petite.
name? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah. How long you guys been together?
We met a really long time ago, like probably when I was like 14 and I'm 19 now, so like 5 years ago through the Evolution Rock School in Hagerstown.
Okay.
And then I was playing like a variety show at my community college in Hagerstown like almost a year ago in March. And I was like, oh, it feels so good. I bet he won't play with me. And then I messaged him anyway. I was like, you want to play this show? And he replied in like 2 minutes, like, yes.
Yeah, right on.
And
Yeah.
so it was easy to work together from there on. We just kept doing stuff.
What
Yeah.
what instruments do you play?
I play guitar live mostly, but I can play piano and ukulele. I play sometimes live too.
Awesome. What about you, Phil?
Mainly drums.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing that's how.
Yeah.
What you were playing were the drums when you met.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
How long you been doing that?
My whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hitting things with sticks as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
But
you-
I don't know, probably around when I was 7 is when people started to enjoy it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. What inspired you to get into drums? It's just something. Just,
I don't know, it just kind of happened. I mean, I always like to say that my neighbor had a kit, and I always went over and played that. And then my parents were finally like, okay, we'll get him one.
yeah.
But like, I don't know if he never had one. I don't know if I would have found someone else's or just would have evolved to get my own kit eventually.
And drums are my dream. I want to be a drummer in a band so bad.
Really?
That's
Oh, yeah.
what I will do one day. But
You'll do it.
it's a
You'll get
long- it's a
there.
long- How did you get into playing guitar and
Um,
music in general? Like, what inspired you to start?
I remember from like a really young age, I always really wanted to sing, and I was always just like really intrigued by like music. But I was homeschooled, and my parents were always looking for like extracurricular things to do, so they put me in music lessons at a really young age. And I like playing piano more originally, but they put me in guitar lessons, and I was like, I hate practicing. I hate this. This sucks. You're making me do this thing. But then when I joined the rock school and I was a little older, I was like, oh, it's like cool to play the guitar now. And so that kind of helped, and playing in the rock school kind of helped my like actual playing abilities more. Like I knew chords and stuff, but thanks, Mom and Dad.
Good job, Mom. Yeah, you got her started. Yeah. Did is the rock school in Hagerstown affiliated with the Frederick one? Are they two different things?
No, I think the one in Hagerstown that I went to no longer exists.
Oh no.
But there's a new one called the Maryland Institute of Music where I take voice lessons there right now, and they're really cool people.
How are the voice lessons? Is that helping?
Yeah, it's helped
Yeah.
a lot actually, and I really like my vocal teacher, so it's makes it easier.
And where is that?
It's kind of by the Valley Mall. It's where Carpenter's World of Music used to be. Like, it's in there. If
Okay.
anyone knows where that is, I don't know.
I personally don't, but I'm sure I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Cool, super cool. So what about your influences? Artists that you've listened to growing up, who's
man.
inspired you?
Just like a myriad of things. Like, my parents had really different musical tastes. Like, my dad was kind of like Metallica and that kind of genre, and my mom was like, let's like listen to country and stuff. But
Old country, like George Strait and some good stuff. Or are you
maybe
talking
like some Kenny Rogers,
okay,
but
even-
like
yeah, right
but
on.
also like newer stuff. And when I was like really young, we lived in Connecticut, and I went to go see this Canadian folk band called Tanglefoot. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like kind of uncommon. I think they broke up too, unfortunately. But my favorite song ever when I was a kid was "Radio Man" by Tanglefoot. And so I remember like sitting in my car, and I like couldn't even like talk yet, but I was like trying to sing this song. But as I like got older, I was kind of like just kind of like resistant to like the country music. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, it's like actually kind of cool sometimes.
So, a lot of it's great.
Yeah,
but
a lot
I
of
get
it's
what
really
you're saying.
good.
I think our generation has kind of been blasted with a bunch of the pop country. I think that's really
Yeah.
kind of,
Everyone's a little standoffish.
Mhm.
There's no need to
Yeah.
be standoffish.
There's no
There's
need.
good stuff in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like with all music though.
Absolutely.
But then I got really into like the 90s music scene, like Nirvana and like Bikini Kill and Smashing Pumpkins,
Oh, yeah.
those kind of bands.
Right on.
And that kind of like kickstarted my own kind of love for music and like my own taste, I think. And then I kind of like just like went from the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010s. And then I'm coming here, and I'm kind of like I was always kind of like, wow, pop music sucks. But now I'm like, there's actually a lot of good pop music
there really
happening, like St. Vincent. I saw her in concert. I'm really in love with Courtney Barnett. I wish she could be my wife, but she's taken. And she lives in Australia, so that's never going to happen. And then,
If she could
yeah.
become single for some reason, hopefully
Oh.
she watches this.
hey, Courtney. Just kidding.
But what about some of your influences musically? What?
I have a totally different background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, before playing with Flo, I probably never would have been in this genre of music. I mainly grew up with like Dave Matthews Band and like
Mhm.
AC/DC and heavier stuff.
Right on.
So
I thought
John Mayer is also in there too.
Oh, we love John
I
Mayer.
love John Mayer. I
Yeah.
tried playing that Neon song of his.
Yeah.
It's just I've been learning it since I first heard it, and I still can't do it. It's 13, 14 years since that song's been released, and I can't.
I think now that I think about it, he's probably my earliest influence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can remember playing with my Lego set, listening to John Mayer on cassette. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Right on.
really?
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He's super talented. He gets a lot of shit, but he's super talented.
yeah. I have all his albums now. Listen to all of it.
We saw him play this summer or
I
last
did.
summer.
Where at?
Yeah.
Lock-In Festival
word.
in where is that? Virginia.
Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah, he was super good. He
Yeah.
played with the Grateful Dead or what's left of them.
Dead and Company.
Dead and
yeah.
Company,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I had some friends who went to that shit.
Yeah,
That's
they
nice.
were really good.
It was
so
really good.
my favorite question is
Mhm.
gear. What is your favorite? I'm gonna ask both of you. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have a favorite piece of equipment that you use? Guitar, your voice. Like, what's
Yeah.
your?
I mean, I'm pretty like basic with like microphones. As long as it's like a good quality microphone and there's a little bit of reverb on there, I'm good. But I really love my Fender Stratocaster.
Yeah.
She's kind of getting older and she's kind of losing her touch. She needs a little bit of work, but I love her. And I only have like a few pedals that I kind of like play with. I have like a Joyo, I think it's called tremolo pedal, and it's like from Japan, and it was like super cheap, and I was like, yeah. And then I have like my Boss distortion. I think I have Fuzz Face, is that what it's called? Fuzz pedal. And then I have a Rainbow Machine, which just like changed my life. It's really cool.
Right
It's
on.
like
Everyone
alien
likes
music.
the Rainbow Machine.
Yeah, my friends are like, "Can I use that?" I'm like,
No.
no.
Sweetwater. You can go there. And
Sweetwater,
Yeah.
yeah. It's only like $400.
Get over there and buy yourself one.
Yeah.
About yourself, anything that you enjoy the most of the gear that you have, from drums to some of the sound stuff you might have, or
I mean, when it comes to drums, I am mainly a Gretsch guy.
Or?
A lot of people think Gretsch is like, oh, you got to play like jazz or just kind of like low key, like silent stuff. Like, no,
Whatever.
Gretsch is the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I use Evans drum heads on most of the gear that I have. You know, Sabian cymbals is what I use for that.
Cool.
I mean, Zildjian here and there, just because like between those two companies, there's some really good sounds you can find.
Right on. So now that I kind of get an understanding of your background on music, what is this collaboration about? What kind of music is Flo Petite? Is there a goal with your songs? Do you have a message that you're trying to put out, or is it just you write per day and whatever comes out comes out?
Flo Petite is like mainly my solo project. But Phil's actually like helped a lot with like some of the songwriting things. Like I'll write a song and he'll be like, "You should add this chord. That'll really make it." And I'll be like, "Oh yeah." After we like fight about it for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because I'm mega stubborn, and so is he.
Well, it's
But-
hard. It's hard to just let
yeah.
go of something that you created on your own.
Oh,
If
for
someone else
sure.
might do this, you're like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
try it, but like,
And it's good, and you're like, "Oh damn it," for sure. But I mean, I try to like say something different with every song. I mean, I don't know, like every song is just different for me, and sometimes it's like I want to write about something maybe like a little more political, or I'm just like, this is just like how I'm feeling today, and I think it just like kind of comes out. Like I can't really like, I don't exactly like try to write songs. I feel like the best songs that I've written kind of just happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like messing around with a riff or something, and then I have like a little lyrical idea, and then I just kind of like jam it out on my own, and that's usually.
right on.
But I don't know, every song has something different to say, and I don't always get to decide what it's about. It just kind of is, I feel like.
So are you in other projects outside of this? You said it's kind of more your solo stuff. So what else?
I have been in bands in the past, but I'm not doing anything else right now.
Right on.
Yeah.
Stick to the one.
Yeah,
Get the
I'm a
most
little
buzz
bit
from this.
tunnel vision.
Oh, me too. I
Yeah.
got blinders on. And it's
Yeah.
just absolutely. So I have one more question. To the artists out there who are trying to get involved with this, what advice do you have for them? What would you tell them to?
Man.
It's a big question, I know, but
I mean,
Keep going.
keep going and like be as authentically you as you can be. Like don't try to like be anybody else because you think it's good or anything. Like do exactly what you want to do, and that's how you'll create really good authentic music.
that's beautiful. I think you did,
You
Gina.
can find me on Spotify and Bandcamp and iTunes and wherever else
Cool.
I'm on. Yeah,
Flo Petite, your music is out there. It is.
It's
It's
out
published
there.
right
Yep.
on. So make sure you guys go look for Flo Petite.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Check out Legendary Sounds LLC, 2 Scoops. Find me, stefan.edward.music on Instagram, basically all social medias. Thank you guys again for coming out here.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
thanks for having
us.
us.
Cool.
All right. Yay.
Save.
Sweet.